Chapter 61. She loves me. After inviting Xianxia out for dinner yesterday, they ended up meeting with Xiongbin. For him, the grandson of an elder and a high-level teacher of the academy, to be pummeled to such a state, it would be bizarre instead for him not to seek vengeance. However, since the academy bans private duels between teachers in its compounds, could it be possible that the fellow sent someone else to intentionally mask himself so as to assault Xianxia here? It is no wonder that Shun Bai Yu would think so. After all, Yao Han's dress-up is way too bizarre. A thick layer of white cloth covers his entire face, revealing only his eyes. At a glance, the impression he gives others is of one unwilling to reveal his true identity. Furthermore, he refuses to answer upon being questioned. Thinking about it now, the reason why Zhongxian forbade her from following him yesterday was because he knew that Xiongbin would be unable to take it lying down. He knew that Xiongbin would definitely find someone to take revenge on him. A cold gleam flashes across Shun Bai Yu's narrowed eyes. She is the cause of this entire situation, so naturally, it isn't right for her to be watching by the sidelines. Do you know the punishment for attacking a teacher in the academy? Attacking a teacher? Yao Han doesn't expect the beautiful lady to ask such a question. He is first taken aback, but he soon recalls the event with Xiongbin yesterday. In an instant, realization strikes him. Could it be that you are that Shun Bai Yu? The cause of Xiongbin pummeling him was due to Xiongbin getting jealous of Zhongxian, as the both of them were vying for Shun Bai Yu's favor. He will never forget this incident even if he is beaten to death. Yet, at this moment, a beautiful lady suddenly pops up and asks him whether he knows that attacking a teacher can result in a penalty. Who else can this beautiful lady be other than her? Looks like she is here to seek vengeance for Xiongbin after he pounded her pursuer yesterday. That's right. Shun Bai Yu puts on a wary expression as her fists clench tightly together. Her aura billows, if you want to avoid any trouble, leave right now. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Being a Fighter 5 Dan Pinnacle, she exerts intense pressure on others upon releasing her full strength. Impolite? Aren't you here to find trouble with me? What a lousy excuse. Seeing how she is preparing to make a move when the both of them had barely spoken a few words, Yao Han's face darkens to the extremities. As a butler of Bayou City Lord Residence, he is a powerful figure in Bayou City. No matter who he meets, they would always show some deference to him. Yet, over here, he was first beaten to a pulp by someone, and now, a lowly ordinary teacher doesn't even show him respect. Rage surges through him. How can he still tolerate it after hearing these words? His complexion darkens as he clenches his fist. Without a word, he charges forward. The moment he makes a move, the rebuke that Shun Bai Yu is about to direct towards him chokes in her throat. With no other choice, she can only face up to him. Peng peng peng. In a moment, the both of them start crossing blows. Shun Bai Yu might just be Fighter 5 Dan Pinnacle, but she possesses incredible stamina and profound techniques. Furthermore, even though Yao Han's fighting prowess surpasses her, due to his injury, he isn't able to take her down within a short moment. Xianxia, what did Elder Xiong say? Xiaoya GT young master on the pavement in the academy. Cao Xiong can't resist the urge to ask the young man walking over. Rest assured. As long as that student of yours did not willingly acknowledge Zhongxian as his teacher, he is dead meat this time. Xiongbin sneers coldly. This morning, Elder Xiong ran over to the teacher guild to find Elder Mo and invited him here. As long as he brings Zhongxian and his student to the Enlightenment Wall Tower, the latter's reputation will be ruined and he will be expelled from Hongqian Academy. That's great. The moment Zhongxian is expelled from the academy, Shun Laosha would definitely give in to Gongzi's persistence. By then, it would be difficult for her to stay away from you. Gongzi GT gentleman Cao Xiong flatters him with a smile. UN. No doubt about it, Shun Bai Yu was deceived by that lad's flowery talk yesterday. That's why she gave in and had a meal with him. As long as that lad scrams from the academy, I don't believe that my efforts to woo her will remain in vain. The moment Shun Bai Yu flashes through his mind, self-confidence wells up in Xiongbin once again. He is the grandson of an elder, as well as a high-level teacher, not to mention that he is tall and dashing. Regardless of which aspect one is speaking of, he is countless times more outstanding than Zhongxian. In the entire academy, Only he is worthy of an enchanting lady like Shun by Ru. As long as he persists on, who else can she fancy other than him? Then, I will be giving my blessings to Xianxia to bring the beauty home soon. Cao Xiong quickly follows up with a fawn. Rest assured, if I were to become a couple with Xianxia, I will make sure to reward you greatly. Xiangbin wanted to laugh heartily, but the next moment, he accidentally tugs on his wounded muscles and excruciating pain surges through him. Also, other than Zhongxian, I will not forgive the one who beat me up yesterday, Yao Han. So what if he is the butler of Bayou City Lord Residence? This is Qianxian Royal City, not a place for him to do as he pleases. That fellow pounded his face in public, leaving him disfigured. How can he possibly forgive him? Naturally. Cao Xiong nods his head. Suddenly, he freezes before quickly pointing forward. Xianxia, quickly, look. What happened? Xiangbin is bewildered. Unable to hold in his curiosity, he turns to take a look. In that instant, his eyes narrow. Isn't that Xianxia? Why is she battling with someone else? That is Yao Han. Right outside Zhongxian's classroom, the two are fighting intensely. One is the goddess that he thinks of even in his sleep, Shun by Ru, while the other is the person whom he just spoke of, the one who makes him grind his teeth in resentment, Yao Han. The two of them aren't acquainted with one another. Why would they be fighting? Xianxia, could it be? Xianxia found out that you were beaten up by this fellow, so she felt angered and wanted to take revenge for you? After hesitating for a moment, Cao Xiong suddenly thought of a possibility and comments. Yuan? Is that true? Xiangbin is taken aback. Indeed. Otherwise, there is no reason for the two to be fighting one another. Xianxia has a gentle personality and treats others kindly. She doesn't get into fights easily. You should be well aware of that as well. Right after you were beaten up, she gets into a huge fight with him. If she didn't do it for Xianxia, I can't think of any other plausible reason behind this. To be willing to go so far for you, I dare to confirm that Xianxia has some feelings for you, and very possibly, it could be love. Cao Xiong says. She loves me. Xiangbin's body freezes, as a wave of happiness gushes through his heart. That's right, there's no other possible reason for Shun by Ru to fight with that guy. Never would he have thought that this woman, despite refusing his dates and keeping her distance from him, she would actually love him so much and care so much for him. Even going to the extent of battling a Fighter 6 Dan expert despite being at Fighter 5 Dan. This cannot do. I cannot allow her to get injured because of me. Agitation fills his heart. Xiangbin feels as though he has been revived and fighting spirit gushes through him. The debt that is the hardest to bear is won from a beauty. The other party has already gone this far. What does he have to hesitate? If he continues hesitating, then he wouldn't be a man anymore. Xianxia, I am here to help you. With a furious roar, Xiangbin rushes upwards. Yao Han is in the midst of battling with Shun by Ru. After testing her out for a few dozens of blows, he has already grasped onto the offensive methods of the other party. He is confident that as long as he gets serious, he is able to defeat her within a few blows. Just as he is about to execute his ultimate technique, he hears a shout and Xiangbin appears before him. As I expected, they are a team. Damn it! Damn it! Seeing his arrival, Yao Han's rage flares up once more. He was suspecting whether the incident might just be a misunderstanding a moment ago, but by the looks of it now, the heck it is a misunderstanding. It is obvious that these two are in it together, and they are intent on finding trouble with him. The more he thinks about it, the angrier he gets. As such, he no longer holds back and strikes down mercilessly upon Xiangbin. Yuan. Xiangbin rushes in all of the sudden spiritedly, and in the turn of an eye, he starts crossing blows with Yao Han. Shun by Ru is unable to react to the sudden change of situation. Upon seeing the two of them battle one another, she can't help but to be taken aback. Can it be that I have guessed wrongly, and this man isn't sent by him? The moment such an idea pops into her head, another possibility flashes through her mind and her face darkens. I see, he is trying to kill two birds with one stone. No wonder I found it weird. If this masked fellow wanted to find trouble with Zhongxian, he could have just rushed in straight. There is no reason for him to be loitering around the entrance. From the looks of it now, it seems that he wants to play out the act of a hero rescuing the beauty so as to attract my attention. HMPH. Chapter 62. Xianxia on the brink of collapsing. No matter where a beauty goes, she would always attract the attention of males. For her, many have came up with all kinds of methods just to make her spare them an additional glance. This kind of hero rescuing the beauty is one of the lousiest tricks in the book. In such a play, either he would showcase his incredible prowess, or he would allow the other party to bash him up, thus inducing her to feel pity for him. From then on, the pity would slowly give rise to love. In any case, regardless of which, those are doings with purposeful intentions, and it incurs her irritation. Upon coming to this realization, Xianxia retreats from the circle of battle. Since the both of you are doing it purposely, I won't bother with it then. You can carry on doing whatever you like. Bang 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 bang. Seeing his nemesis charging in frenziedly, Xianxia gives his all without showing any mercy whatsoever. In just a few moments, the fearless and resolute Xianxia is beaten to a pulp once again and fresh blood trickles down his face. Xianxia isn't any better either. Blood permeates through the layers of cloth on his mummy-like face. Such realistic acting. Go on with it. Xianxia comments with arms akimbo. Xianxia, help Xianxia quickly, he is on the verge of losing. Seeing Xianxia beaten to the verge of death, Xianxia can't resist stepping forward to persuade her. Being just fighter 4 Dan Pigu realm, he pales far too much in comparison to the two who are battling at the moment. He will just be courting death if he interferes in the fight. As such, the only viable solution is to plead with the Xianxia standing before him. Is it all right for me to help him? Seeing the other party's support coming up to her, Xianxia sneers coldly. Yes, if you don't save him, Xianxia will definitely die. Unable to see through her cold intentions, Xianxia hurriedly says, "Fine, I will go then." Xianxia steps forward. Who? Seeing her walking over to join the fray once more, Xianxia pushes Xianxia away with both of his hands, causing the latter to retreat 2 steps. Then, he steps out of the battle and says, "Very well, I will remember this. Your nobility, as well as the favor the both of you have showered me with, I will make sure to return it in the future." He is wounded at the moment. Just Xianxia herself is already pushing it for him. Furthermore, even if he is able to defeat the both of them, they are currently in Hongqian Academy. The longer the battle drags on here the more likely troublesome matters will come his way. If the other party has prepared some scheme beforehand, he might even find himself unable to escape then. Thus, after hesitating for a moment, he decisively chooses to leave. The two of them might have failed to exact vengeance upon him, and the other party has been reduced to quite a pitiful state by him as well, but this grudge has been established. It is just a matter of time before he returns it back to them. After which, Xianxia turns around to leave. In an instant, he disappears from the vision of the crowd. If a fighter 6 Dan Pishua realm expert were to flee, even Xianxia will be unable to catch up with him. Besides, she doesn't have the intention to pursue him either. At this moment, the cold intention on her face deepens. The moment she is about to step in, the other party flees. What does this mean? Simple, it means that the show has come to an end. Naturally, he would have to leave. Xianxia, I didn't expect that you would treat me so well. I understand your intentions. Seeing Xianxia charging ahead to save him, Xianxia is filled with joy. He turns his completely swollen red face over, smiles and strikes a pose that he finds dashing. Actually, I love you as well. Still furious with him, she is curious to see what kind of lousy tricks this fellow would use to attract her attention. Hearing these words, Xianxia almost explodes from rage. My intentions? My intentions your head. You hoodlum. Xianxia spits through gritted teeth. Pah! A slap flies over. What? After mustering his courage to confess, just as he thought the beauty would leap into his embrace, he feels intense pain on his face. Uncontrollably, his body staggers and he knocks onto the metal gate. Xianxia's eyes spin and he almost faints on the spot. The heck did you slap me for? Didn't you battle with someone else for me? He is almost going crazy. What the heck is going on? Friendly at one moment, furious at the next. Spring at one moment, winter at the next. Did I offend you or what? Jia. Just as Xiangbin's heart has broken down and he is still trying to comprehend the situation, the door to the classroom slowly opens. Zhongxian walks out and frowns upon seeing everyone else. I am in the midst of my lessons. It is unbecoming for you all to be making a ruckus here. Zhongxian, you came at the perfect timing. Just as his heart is in the midst of crumbling, upon seeing Zhongxian's appearance, Xiangbin's rage immediately flurries. Xianxia has already submitted an appeal to the school, accusing you of using deception to coerce his student, Liu Yang, to become your student. The Academy has already approved the usage of the Enlightenment Will trial, so I advise you to quickly bring Liu Yang over. Enlightenment Will trial? Zhongxian is puzzled for a moment. Then, recalling the memories of his previous self, he comes to a realization and frowns. Indeed. Right now, I am passing this message to you as a representative of the Education Bureau. If you don't go, that would be disobeying the rules of the Academy, and similarly, you will be fired as well. Xiangbin sneers coldly. He might be unable to defeat Yao Han, and he doesn't dare to say too much to Goddess Shun. Thus, he can only direct all of his wrath onto this trash of a teacher. Zhongxian Laosha, don't go. Shun by Ru's beautiful eyebrows knit together. She might not know what tricks Xiangbin has under his sleeves for doing this, but regardless of what, this is definitely a ploy directed towards Zhongxian. The moment he agrees and a problem occurs with the Enlightenment Will trial, not only will he lose his teaching license, he might even get fired. However, before she can finish her words, Zhongxian interrupts her with a hand gesture and says, "All right, I'll go." It is true that Liu Yang felt indignant upon becoming Zhongxian's student before. However, at this moment, Liu Yang is already completely impressed with him. Even if the latter were to tell him to jump off from a tall building to practice movement techniques, he would most probably agree to it without any hesitation. With such level of trust, what does he have to fear from an Enlightenment Will trial? Given how confident this fellow is, let's see who will be the one to be embarrassed in the end. If you dare not go, I will inform the Security Bureau in the Academy and have them take you. Thinking that Zhongxian would be resistant to it, Xiangbin goes on shouting righteously when the situation finally strikes him. What did you say? You will go. Zhongxian doesn't reply. With a faint smile, he turns around and walks to the entrance of the classroom. Liu Yang, come with me. Yes. Liu Yang walks out from the classroom. Not expecting the other party to be so cooperative, traces of hesitation appears on Xiangbin's confident face. Xianxia, don't be worried. This Liu Yang is a student that I brought in specially. I am confident that he wishes to be my student. Cao Xiong says with a suppressed voice. All right. Hearing his guarantee, Xiangbin nods his head and walks forward with large strides. Let's go. Seeing the young man agreeing so recklessly, Shun by Ru feels anxious. The Enlightenment Will trial is a method of settling disputes when two teachers have fallen out with one another but are still unable to settle the matter. The moment the trial starts, the side that is proven to be guilty of deception will receive a severe punishment. How can such a thing be accepted that easily? No matter what, he should try to push it down and ideally, settle it peacefully. Otherwise, he could be in deep trouble. It's nothing much. Knowing that the other party is worrying for him, Zhongxian smiles lightly. Without explaining anything, he lifts his leg and follows behind Xiangbin towards the Academy's Enlightenment Will Tower. This fellow. Seeing how the young man takes her advice for granted, Shun by Ru is furious and anxious. As a beauty, others would always happily listen to her own words. Yet, not only does this fellow ignore her advice, he charges towards what she is warning him against. Isn't this courting death? One must know that Xiangbin's grandfather is the head of the Education Bureau. If he dares to do so, then he must have already prepared a trap beforehand against him. Leaping into misfortune on your own accord, you deserve it if anything happens to you. Shun by Ru stomps her leg furiously. However, after a slight moment of hesitation, she still quickly catches up with the lot. Towards Zhongxian, she only feels curiosity. Love is not in the equation. However, she is the reason why Xiangbin is going against him. No matter what, she can't just stand idly by the sidelines. Chapter 63. Elder Mo Xiong. Elder Mo Xiong in the lofty enlightenment will tower. Elder Mo, I will be depending on you this time. Elder Xiong Chen looks at the elderly who is sitting by his side. An elder from the teacher guild, Mo Xiong. Elder Xiong, there is no need to be so formal. After all, we are already old friends. Elder Mo Xiong is in his 50s and a sparse grey-colored beard can be seen on his face. Worry not, if this teacher really resorts to coercion and forces others to become his students, I will definitely report it up to the guild to strip him of his teaching license. Sigh, it is negligence on my part. Elder Xiong Chen shakes his head. With a bewailing look, he laments, when this teacher scored a 0 in the teacher qualification examination, I gave him an ultimatum. If he doesn't recruit any students, he would be fired immediately. Perhaps due to pressure, he resorted to such means. It is all my fault. He sighs. Elder Xiong, you shouldn't blame yourself. Out of sheer kindness, you gave him another chance. Yet, this fellow knows no gratitude and, instead, he chooses to commit such despicable actions. He is truly shameless and vile. Elder Mo's face darkens as he exudes a forceful aura. As a teacher, instead of pondering on how to better nurture others, he spends his time on such underhanded tricks. I would like to see who is the one who gave him the guts to resort to such means. Elder Mo Xiong is well reputed for his hatred towards villains and villainous acts. Upon hearing about a teacher coercing the students, he is on the verge of erupting from anger. If it wasn't for Cao Xionglao's righteousness in reporting the incident to say that his student has been coerced by that teacher, even going to the extent of applying for the Enlightenment Will trial to resolve the issue, I would still be oblivious to all these happenings. With both of his hands behind his back, Elder Xiong Chen shakes his head continuously. His contemplating eyes are directed towards the empty sky, as though he has committed the world's greatest negligence. If Zhongxian is here, he would definitely be surprised. This fellow's ability at Zhuangbi is far more superior than him. Zhuangbi GT acting cool. Although the Enlightenment Will trial wounds the harmony and camaraderie between teachers, it is still worth it if it weeds out the poisonous ones of the lot. Don't blame yourself too much. Seeing his expression, Elder Mo Xiong is secretly impressed. Often, a student whom several teachers favor at the same time would appear in the academy. At such a moment, everyone would try to settle the issue privately. This way, not only is the fellowship between colleagues not wounded, order is also maintained in the institution. Only when the problem is truly unable to be settled privately will they apply for such a method to resolve it. Enlightenment Will trial, just as its name dictates, is a test on the heart of the student, allowing him to make a choice based on his true will. However, this means that the relationship between the competing teachers will become totally hostile, thus wounding the harmonious spirit between teachers. This is the reason why in the century since the inception of Hongqian Academy, there are only slightly more than 10 applications for the Enlightenment Will trial. They didn't expect that they would be able to encounter such an incident as well. After feigning contemplation, Elder Xiong Chen secretly chuckles upon seeing that he has managed to rile up the rage of the other party. He gestures with his hand and passes down an order, let them enter. Jia. Immediately after his words sound, the heavy doors slowly open and Zhongxian, Cao Xiong, Shongbin, Shunbai Yu and Liu Yang walk in. Cao Xionglaosha, are you the one who has applied for the Enlightenment Will trial? The moment everyone stops in their footsteps, Elder Xiong Chen asks with raised eyebrows. I beg of Elder to redress my grievance. Cao Xiong cries loudly. This Zhongxian coerced my student, Liu Yang, who has already acknowledged me as his teacher, thus violating the rules of fair competition among teachers. As such, I specially applied for the Enlightenment Will trial so as to bring Liu Yang justice. At the same time, I hope that the Academy can punish this shameless fellow. Bring justice? Liu Yang is oblivious to what was going on as he was simply ordered to follow the group here. Upon hearing the words of the other party, he finally understands that Cao Xiong is trying to make use of him to deal with his benefactor. As such, he hurriedly sends a gaze towards Zhongxian, teacher. Before he can finish his words, he sees fluster flashing across the Zhonglaosha, who was calm and formidable a moment ago in the classroom. Indignantly, he says, Cao Laosha, you are spouting nonsense. Liu Yang is willing to become my student. I had never coerced him. His voice carries a trace of unconfidence and panic, as though his lie has been exposed. Unable to believe his sight, Liu Yang blinks his eyes. After 2 lessons, he is already completely impressed with Xianxia, even to the extent of thinking that he is omnipotent. He feels that becoming his student is a result of fair competition between 2 teachers and that it can be explained easily. How did the situation evolve to such a point all of a sudden? Zhongxian's eyes are filled with fear and his body trembles slightly, as though he was caught red-handed in the bed with someone else. Liu Yang is unable to make heads or tails of the situation. Which nerve of Zhong Laosha's brain is convulsing for him to behave like this? Teacher! Liu Yang looks over, but before he can voice out the doubts in his heart, he sees Zhong Laosha turning over to her roomf. Liu Yang, you better explain it properly. Did I coerce you or not? As he says so, he secretly blinks his eyes. No. Liu Yang hurriedly shakes his head. No matter how dim-witted he might be, it is clear to see that Zhong Laosha is trying to pull one over the other party. It will do as long as he cooperates with him. The both of them are aware of what is going on, but in the eyes of others, it seems as though Zhongxian is threatening Liu Yang to say something against his will. Otherwise, why would Liu Yang answer so hesitantly? As expected, upon seeing this sight, Elder Mo's complexion turns slightly awful. You must be Zhongxian. I will give you one more chance. As long as you obediently cancel the lessons of this Liu Yang and allow him to come under Cao Laosha's tutelage once more, I can choose not to proceed ahead with the Enlightenment Will trial. Cancel lessons? Zhongxian scratches his head. Liu Yang has acknowledged me as his teacher out of his own will. It would be unfair to him if I were to push him away. Unfair? Own will? The corner of Elder Mo's lips twitch. Don't you feel embarrassed for saying these words? You are just a teacher who scored a 0 in the teacher qualification examination. He can't be happier to push away your lessons, yet you speak of unfairness. Where did your self-confidence come from? Just as he is about to continue speaking, he hears Cao Xiong and Shong Bin shouting simultaneously, Elder Mo, this won't do. Why? The Enlightenment Will trial is something very troublesome. The moment it starts, someone has to be punished. Otherwise, if everyone were to follow through with this process, the Academy would be unable to upkeep with the expenditure. Initially, Elder Mo intends to have this incident resolved peacefully. Upon hearing the obstruction of the duo, he turns around and looks at them. Elder Mo, Cao Laosha has already applied for the Enlightenment Will trial and the Academy has already agreed to it. If it were to stop abruptly at this moment, doesn't this mean that the Academy's rules are being taken lightly? Shong Bin hurriedly says. What kind of joke is this? It wasn't easy for them to set up this situation to push Zhongxian off the cliff. If they were to settle peacefully, doesn't this mean that all their efforts would be in vain? If so, wouldn't the humiliation he was put under yesterday be in vain? Indeed, Elder Mo. I am also thinking in the stead of the student. I hope that he can follow his own heart and choose the teacher that he favors the most, rather than being coerced into making a choice. Cao Xiong hurriedly says. His words are righteous and emotional. If not for the crimson-red palm print from Shong Bin's slap yesterday, he would surely be able to impress many. All right then. Upon hearing the words of the two, Elder Mo nods his head, no longer holding up the process. Since you all have chosen the Enlightenment Will trial, then naturally, I will have to list the rules out clearly first. After the test is completed, whoever the examinee Liu Yang ultimately chooses to acknowledge as his teacher will be victorious in this trial. Of course, the one who loses will be punished. Thus, let's clarify the punishment first. At this point, the quiet Elder Shong Chen surveys the surroundings before saying, this time, Cao Xiong Laosha has chosen the harshest punishment, that is, upon the end of the trial, the losing side will be expelled from the Academy. Zhongxian, do you have any objection to it? Upon hearing that it is the harshest punishment, Zhongxian looks over in disbelief. With a sincere face, he says, there isn't a deep grudge between me and Cao Laosha to have him expelled. Isn't it going a little too far? Upon hearing these words, Elder Shong and the others freezes. They turn and stare at Zhongxian as though they are looking at an idiot. Is there something wrong with the head of this fellow? You are the one who is going to be expelled, all right? HMPH, regardless of your opinion, you will have to agree to undertake the enlightenment will trial. It is already too late to turn back now. Thinking that Xianxia is spouting rubbish to reject the trial, Kaohsiung sneers coldly. I am really doing this for your good. I still think that expelling straight away is too harsh. How about this? Xianxia hesitates for a moment before saying, why don't we drop with the expulsion? We will just strip the losing side of his teaching license then. Add in another 100 God-slaying flogs. Strip teaching license? 100 God-slaying flogs? The crowd blink their eyes simultaneously and stare at one another. Every single one of them feels as though they are going mad. It seems as though the losing side has managed to retain his position so that he won't end up jobless. However, in reality, this is much harsher than a direct expulsion. Are you sure that you didn't misspeak? Chapter 64. Trust level. If one is expelled from the school, at the very least, he would still be a teacher. Even if not in Hongqian Academy, he can still teach at other academies. On the other hand, if one's teaching license is revoked, it would mean losing their identity. No matter where they go, it will remain as a stain on their history and they would suffer from the mocking of others. That's precisely the reason why Elder Xianxia got Elder Mo from the Teacher Guild here. After all, despite being the head of the Education Bureau in Hongqian Academy, he doesn't have the qualifications to strip a teacher of his teaching license. He didn't expect that. Before he could even talk about it, this fellow has already brought it up. Furthermore, adding 100 God-slaying flogs into the mix. God-slaying flog is a unique object created specially within Xianxia Kingdom. One's flesh will tear apart and they will feel excruciating pain when beaten by it. Yet, it doesn't hurt their core. No matter how powerful a person is, they would probably be half dead by the time the sentence is completed. Do you find the punishment insufficiently harsh, or do you think that you aren't dying fast enough? Everyone looks at the young man as though he is an idiot. Xianxia Laosha, you. From behind, Shun Bai Ru Laosha barely managed to avoid fainting on the spot. Are you really unable to tell that this is a trap Xiongbin and Kaohsiung specially dug out for you? Their purpose is for you to leap in. Initially, being expelled from the school is already harsh enough. Yet, not only do you not try to push it down, you even raise the stakes up higher. Have you really gone insane? Don't blame anyone else since you are courting death. Harumphing coldly, Kaohsiung looks at Xianxia, who is standing in the middle of the crowd. Elder Xiong, I concur with Zhong Laosha's suggestion. I hope that the Academy can grant our request. Seeing him accept it so readily, Liu Yang slaps his forehead and looks at him with eyes of sympathy. Zhong Laosha is really evil. He first feigns guilt so as to boost the other party's confidence. After which, he makes use of the situation to up the stakes. Most probably, Kaohsiung Laosha won't even know what is going on even after he is played to his death. It is fortunate that he became my teacher. Otherwise, my life would be over. Upon recalling how he almost became the student of this Cao Laosha, Liu Yang shudders and cowers backward. All right then. Since both parties have agreed on the stakes, then let's start the process. Elder Xianxia nods his head. 2 crystal balls, about the size of a watermelon each, are brought forward and placed on a stone pedestal. Completely transparent, they radiate warm light. These are crystal balls made of Will Inquisition stone. Xianxia and Kaohsiung, both of you will drip a droplet of fresh blood on one of them each. After which, Liu Yang will touch them and the crystal balls will reflect the true thoughts in his mind in the form of trust level. The one whose trust level is higher, he will emerge victorious. Are there any other questions? Elder Xianxia asks. None at all. Xianxia and Kaohsiung nod their heads. The enlightenment will trial is actually a simple process. It only involves making use of the Will Inquisition stone to peer into the innate world of the student. Whichever teacher the student trusts more, that teacher wins. The rules might be simple, but the Will Inquisition stone is an expensive commodity, not to mention that it is the type of product that is exceptionally rare. Furthermore, it is a single-use consumable. Thus, unless required, the Academy is unwilling to use such means. As for the expenditure required for the process, normally, it is compensated by the losing side. In the eyes of Cao Xiong and the rest, Zhong Xian is just an incapable trash who had scored a 0 in the teacher qualification examination. How can it be possible for Liu Yang, a student among the top 100, to become his student willingly? He is bound to lose the moment the trial starts. By then, not only will he be expelled from the academy shamefully, he will be bankrupt as well, and his reputation will be in the gutters. Truly killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Let's begin. Seeing that the two have no objections to it, Elder Shong Chen gestures with his hand. Zhong Xian and Cao Xiong walk upwards to a crystal ball each and drip a droplet of their fresh blood on the crystal balls. A warm glow radiates and their faces reflect in the Will Inquisition crystal balls. Go! Elder Shong Chen says. Liu Yang walks over and places his left and right hands on a crystal ball each. Wang! The crystal balls immediately light up and their radiance envelops his entire body. The Will Inquisition stone has hypnotic abilities. The moment one comes into contact with it, one will descend into an illusory realm. In there, all actions done will be a result of one's true will, and no external factors will influence one's will. If one was truly forced to become a student, not only will one not hold any trust towards his teacher, one might even hold feelings of abhorrence towards him. As such, the Enlightenment Will trial is the most straightforward and accurate method to differentiate whether a student is truly willing to acknowledge a teacher. Gazing upon Liu Yang, who had already closed his eyes and descended into the illusory realm, Elder Mo Xiong slowly says, "Indeed, trust level represents the level of trust one holds towards another, and the maximum of which is 100 points. Every 10 points is a demarcation zone, and 0 points means an absolute lack of trust. 10 points means slight trust, 20 means average trust. The relationship between a teacher and student tends to be around 30. It is said that the more incredible teachers can make a student's trust in them reach 50. That is considered an extremely fearsome result, and it is extremely rare for such results to appear, even considering the entire Xianxia kingdom. After all, a child's trust towards their parents only hovers around 60 or such." Elder Shong Chen strokes his beard as he continues. The conversation between the two is, in fact, telling the others about the concepts behind the Enlightenment Will trial. Humans are thinking creatures, and each of them has their own thoughts. It isn't that easy a feat to have one trust in another. Not mentioning others, even one's parents, who have lived with them since young, are unable to reach 100 points of trust. Needless to say, a teacher. Only through long periods of interaction can one's trust level in another slowly rise up. Yet, it has been barely 2 days since the start of school. Furthermore, given Zhong Xian's horrid reputation, how can he induce trust in any of his students? It is clear to see even when thinking with one's toes. Right, Elder Mo, I heard that one of the prerequisites to become a master teacher seems to be the student's trust level. May I know if it is true? After explaining the process, Elder Shong Chen remembers something and is unable to hold in his curiosity. He asks. Teachers can be divided into low level, intermediate level and high level. Zhong Xian belongs to the bottom category, low level, whereas Shun Bai Ru and Shong Bin have already attained the ranking of high level. Most people's journey comes to an end as a high-level teacher. The 2 famous teachers of Hongqian Academy, Lu Zun and Wang Chao, are also at this level. Master teachers are a level above that of high-level teachers. Master teachers aren't just famous for their reputation, they possess their unique insights into cultivation. One can only become stronger under the tutelage of such a person, allowing them to eventually becoming a heroic figure of a territory. Emperor Shenzui is neither the queen's son or the eldest son. By logic, it is impossible for the crown to be passed down to him. However, it is said that during his youth, he once studied under a master teacher for a few days, causing his strength to increase by leaps and bounds, thus becoming the strongest of the younger generation. Eventually, he even became the #1 expert of the royal family, therefore forming the basis for him to inherit the throne to further the country's greatness. It is the dream of countless people to study under a master teacher. Teachers can only be considered as a lower occupation of the upper 9 paths. However, if one were to become a master teacher, then even among the numerous occupations among the upper 9 paths, they are without a doubt, and indisputably, a member of the #1 occupation. This is especially so, given the occupation's frightening ability to rally people. Even the popular occupations, apothecary, blacksmith, formation masters, aren't able to compete at all. Teachers are known to have innumerable students all over the world. This is even more true for master teacher. It is very possible for any expert one sees or hears of to be his student. The moment something happens, many people will answer to their calls, to the point that even those in authority dare not offend them. It is said that there was once an emperor from a great kingdom who offended a master teacher. With a single call, dozens of Fighter 8 Dan Xianxia realm experts surged in, and in less than a day the entire kingdom was destroyed. The royal family was completely purged, not a single descendant of their bloodline remains. This is precisely why it is a known fact among cultivators that one can offend anyone, just not a master teacher. Who knows how many students he has? Who knows how many experts there are in their midst? Offending them is equivalent to stirring a hornet's nest. Even if one doesn't die, he will be crippled. Of course, the title of a master teacher isn't that easily attainable. There are many conditions and prerequisites to it, and earning a student's trust rapidly is one of it. Chapter 65. 10 Indeed, one of the requirements to becoming a master teacher is to have a student's trust in him exceed 60. This is a standard prerequisite. Otherwise, they won't be qualified. Elder Mo Xiong nods his head. 60. Elder Shong Chen can't help but be astonished. This level of trust is equivalent to the position of their parents in the heart of the students. Despite being together for their entire life, the trust level between parents and children are only 60. It is clear to see how difficult it would be for the relationship between a teacher and a student to reach such a level as well. It is no wonder that there isn't a single master teacher in Xianxia Kingdom. The prerequisites are simply too harsh. If Lu Zun and Wang Chao of your academy were to maintain this standard for 30 years or so, there is a possibility of them becoming an associate master teacher. Elder Mo strokes his beard. There's no need for master teacher to do everything by themselves. Sometimes, they would delegate tasks to their assistants to help them. The role of an associate master teacher is just like an apprentice. It is a path one must walk on if they intend to become a master teacher. Associate master teacher? Elder Shong Chen gasps in surprise. For them to be able to become associate master teachers, this clearly shows the standards Lu Zun and Wang Chao possess. I wonder what the trust levels the students the both of them are guiding have towards them are. He can't help but ask. Throughout these years, they have garnered quite a positive reputation. Those older students whom they have guided for many years should be able to reach up to 40. However, it will be difficult for it to rise any higher. Elder Mo shakes his head. Being an elder from the teacher guild, he is knowledgeable about the circumstances of many teachers. That's true. Shong Chen nods his head. It is difficult to accrue trust, and yet, it falls exceptionally easy. Often, it could be torn apart by just a small incident. If that isn't the case, master teacher wouldn't possess such tremendous reputation. I've heard that a genius young lady has appeared in our teacher guild. Despite being just 18 or 19 this year, she has already become a low-level associate master teacher. Upon recalling a news, Elder Shong Chen can't resist asking. She's the daughter of our guild leader. She is indeed a talent. Upon bringing up this person, Elder Mo strokes his beard and nods his head in commendation. Associate master teacher can be split into low level, intermediate level and high level as well. To join one of their ranks under 20 is a fearsome accomplishment, even considering the fact that she is only a low-level associate master teacher. Incredible. Upon receiving confirmation of the fact, Elder Shong Chen nods his head in commendation. He might be the head of the Education Bureau of Hongqian Academy, but in reality, he is just a high-level teacher. He doesn't have the qualifications to become a low-level associate master teacher. After which, Shong Chen doesn't go on further on the topic. Instead, he looks at Zhong Xian and Cao Xiong. Elder Mo, how much trust level do you think the both of them will receive? It's best for you to leave now. Leave Hongqian Academy and never come back. Seeing the young man stand there foolishly to await the results of the Enlightenment Wall trial, Shunbai Ayu can't help but to walk forward and direct these words to him with a suppressed voice. In her perspective, Zhong Xian and Shong Bin are two people from completely different worlds. If it weren't for her, there is no way the two would mix together. Such a circumstance has arisen because of her. If Xianxia were to be beaten 100 times by the god-slaying flog and have his teaching license revoked, she will definitely feel guilty about his plight. You wish to leave now? It's a little too late. Seeing his goddess showing concern towards another man, Xiongbin spits these words through gritted teeth. You don't even show the slightest concern when I am reduced to this state, and yet, you worry about this fellow who scored 0 in the teacher qualification examination. Damn it! Damn it! His face turns savage and he is so angry that he might explode at any moment now. That's right, the Enlightenment trial has already begun. You wish to leave? Dream on. Cao Xiong walks forward and reveals a face of enthusiastic savagery. The results are about to be out. By then, you will understand how foolish your actions were. Are you that certain that you will achieve victory? Seeing how confident the other party is, as though the winning ticket is in his hand, Zhongxian shakes his head and asks. He. Staring at the young man as though he is a fool, Cao Xiong sneers coldly. Let me tell you the truth then. This Liu Yang was specially invited here by me. I have been living with him for half a month and our trust level should probably exceed 20. What about you? Do you think you are capable of reaching 10 points? After deceiving him over to your side from me forcefully, I think it is very possible for your score to be negative. While 0 means no trust whatsoever, negative means resentment. The greater the resentment, the more negative the number will be. He still clearly remembers Liu Yang's lingering and reluctant gaze when he was pulled away from him. How can someone who has guided a student to go berserk make this proud fellow concede to them? It is very probable for the relationship between the two to still be frosty, so how can Liu Yang not bear any resentment towards this fellow? Hongqian Academy is the #1 academy of Qianxian Kingdom. If a student were to really hold a trust level below that of 10 points towards his teacher will probably become a laughingstock and the event will be known across the entire kingdom. Xiongbin laughs mockingly. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Since your reputation is already as bad as it can get, there is no need for you to worry about becoming a laughingstock. You all. Seeing the two of them putting him down, Shun Bai Ayu's angry face flushes pink. Just as she is about to refute them, she notices that the person in question, Zhongxian, is still maintaining an impassive and calm face towards their insults, as though he isn't bothered by their mocking at all. To tell the truth, Zhongxian really doesn't care about it. These fellows can talk as much as they can now. When the result comes out in a while, it will be interesting to see them cry. The two of them? Hearing Elder Xiongchen's words, Elder Mo Xiong hesitates for a moment before deducing. This Liu Yang was recommended here by Cao Xiong Laosha, so his trust level towards him should be slightly higher. Even so, in my opinion, it should only be around 18 or 19. After all, 20 is a large hurdle to overcome. As for Zhongxian, if he truly coerced Liu Yang, then it is likely for the trust level to be negative. If the trust level turns out to be negative, Hongqian Academy will be embarrassed. At that moment, I will be depending on Elder Mo. Elder Xiongchen says. Naturally. Elder Mo's eyes are bright and stern. As an elder from the Teacher Guild, I will not allow such scum to appear in our midst. If it turns out to be negative, then there is no doubt that Liu Yang has been coerced into acknowledging him. I will report the incident up to the guild and adamantly push for Zhongxian's teaching license to be revoked. Hearing the other party's promise, Elder Xiongchen smiles. Then, his eyes twinkle and he points forward. Look, the results are about to be out. The moment his voice sounds, the light the two crystal balls are emanating from the center of the room starts to waver and gradually dims. In the Enlightenment trial, the person who is involved in the trial has to go through all kinds of illusory realms before they are able to make a choice from the bottom of their heart. At this instant, the fading of the light means that he has already undergone the experiences required for the test, and the results are about to be revealed. Wang. Numbers lightly waver into existence on the crystal ball by the left. The results are out. Misfortune is about to befall you. Seeing the numbers slowly floating into existence on the crystal ball, Cao Xiong's excited eyes gleam. This time, not only will he be able to accept Liu Yang back under his tutelage, he will also be able to throw Zhongxian out and earn the favor of Xiongbin Xiaoye. With such a pillar of support, won't his future in the academy be smooth sailing? Xiaoya GT young master probably. In less than a few years, he will be able to rise through the ranks successfully to become a high-level teacher. Just as he is getting excited over the scene playing in his mind, the numbers in the crystal ball finally stop wavering, and they appear before the crowd. His trust level in me definitely exceeds 20. Roaring, Cao Xiong hurriedly turns his attention to the crystal ball. Yet, with a glance, his excitement chokes in his throat and he feels like a duck who is grasped at its neck. His eyes widen to the point that they are about to fall onto the floor. How can this be possible? The results unfolding before him drives him to the brink of insanity. This is something he dares not to imagine. Liu Yang is a student whom he personally invited over. Furthermore, the two even accompanied one another for half a month, giving rise to their close relationship. How can he possibly only hold such a level of trust towards him? The giant numbers on the crystal ball are clear and conspicuous. As though a long sword, it stabs into his heart. 10. Liu Yang's trust level towards him is a mere 10 points. Anything below 10 means a lack of trust. 10 is right at the boundary, but it isn't too far off from it. Just a moment ago, he even narcissistically boasted that the trust level would be at least 20. Yet, the result slaps him hard in his face. Is this the basis of your confidence? Zhong Xian looks over.
I.
Cao Xiong fails to catch his breath and almost faints on the spot. I had gone through so much trouble, traveling the distance to find you and bring you over. After which, we even spent so much time together. Yet, how can your trust level be so low? Brother, what is wrong with you? Looking at Liu Yang, the thought of suicide even flashes through Cao Xiong's mind. Where is the trust? Where is the basic trust between humans? Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you love what you hear and want to support my work, check out the PayPal link in the description. Every bit helps. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notifications bell to stay updated with all our latest audiobook chapters. We'll see you in the next one.